So that's the what is it. Now let's get into the specifics of what it can and what it can't do. So, what it can do is it can verify relationships, it can identify new relationships, and it can find things that otherwise are difficult to find. All right, so let's talk about Ed. So, Ed is my good friend, and Ed has very deep roots in Massachusetts. And so he's pictured here. You can see these fishing schooners on which his paternal grandfather sailed during the early 1900s. So if we take a look at Ed's family tree, it is literally the Northeast for generations. And then everyone goes back to England, except one Portuguese line. So when Ed is doing his research, those DNA matches that are Portuguese are pretty obvious. He's pretty lucky that way. And so he's trying to verify his ancestor Jose's connection to this Antonio Jose da Fonseca and Rosa Maria. And he found this DNA match who claims to also be a descendant of this same couple. So, what DNA can do is you can look at the amount of DNA that Ed shares with this DNA match, and you can ask, is this amount of DNA consistent with the expected relationship Ed should have with this person? We call this checking genetics versus genealogy. And if that centimorgan number is consistent, then yeah, Ed's relationship to this ancestor, Antonio and Rosa, is verified. So it's the combination of the genealogy records that link them to this couple and the DNA that just says, sure, right? DNA is verifying a connection that genealogy has made for you. Okay. So it can verify records that you already have. It can also identify. So a couple of years ago at Roots Tech, I gave a lecture and then, afterwards people come up and ask me their individual questions and I'm chatting. And this woman has her phone in her hand and she said, "My husband's DNA results came in last night and I'm confused." And she shows me a screenshot. This isn't hers, obviously, but shows me a screenshot of a close match to her husband, which was clearly a half sibling of his that they did not know about. And so many of us know of these kinds of stories. Many of us are that story that we found or were found by someone making a really significant discovery, identifying someone as part of your family that you could never have identified in any other way. So, one more story about this identification. So, when I lived in South Florida and I was printing my quick sheets, I don't know how many of you have our printed quick sheets that we used to do. I had a printer in South Florida that I used. Sweetest man, loved him. And I, would go into the printing shop all the time to pick up my quick sheets. And so he kind of knew what I did because it's there on the quick sheets. And so over time, he kind of got a picture for what I did. And one day I came to pick up quick sheets and he said, "You'll never believe this." And I said, "What?" And he's like, "Well, you got me interested, in all this DNA stuff." So I went ahead and took one of those tests and he found his daughter. And it's it's incredible to see how one DNA test can completely change someone's life, give them a family at a very advanced age that they didn't know that they had. So there's all kinds of these connecting and disconnecting principles that DNA can bring into our reality as it can identify people who were previously not a part of our families. It can also find people that we've been missing. So this is another one of our clients. This is Anne. She's a graduate of our DNA skills workshop. And Anne knew pretty much her entire family tree except for this one branch from Poland, which for a variety of reasons was causing her a lot of stress and heartache. She just could not find her ancestors on this line. Now, in the DNA skills workshop, she was working through the plan, which is the best way to try to identify a missing branch of your family tree. But as part of the DNA skills workshop, we do offer, some kind of easier paths like, hey, yeah, you should stick to the plan, but here's this if you want to try this also. And one of the tips we offer is that instead of, grouping your matches and doing all of that we recommend, you can just like go to your DNA match list and search it by surname. And so she did. She's like, well, let me try that. She goes to MyHeritage and she puts in this Gazer surname and she found a match. She found somebody who had this surname in their family tree. And so she used this is a picture she took for me from her DNA skills workshop workbook, where she drew out these relationships, and this match, IZ, is the new match, and where this person theoretically fit into her family tree. And so this match connects with Anne like in this way. And, she checked the genetics versus genealogy, and everything seemed to make sense. This person was genetically a third cousin once removed and genealogically a third cousin once removed, making that yellow 3 times great grandparent kind of connection for her that she didn't have before. So this was like an incredible find, but guys, it was also really lucky. It's really lucky that just by searching by surname, she was able to find the match that mattered. But I mean, you might be lucky. So if you haven't tried that, you should absolutely try that. Search all of your databases. They all have a search box at the top of the match page. You just search, most of them are searching by the surname or the name or surname of the person like who tested. But for both Ancestry and MyHeritage that have family trees, it is also searching the trees of those people. And so while Anne got really lucky not using the plan, still able to find her matches, if you aren't as lucky, the DNA Skills Workshop is our like best way to teach you the plan. And we will be enrolling in that really soon in January for our February start. So if you're at all interested in that, you can get on our skills waitlist and you can be ready for that when that class opens. It really is the best way to learn how to do the plan to find those missing ancestors. That really, that's most of us why we're here. Most of us want to use autosomal DNA to find it. Gina, thanks for chiming in that you love our skills workshop. And I see Katie put the link in there for the wait list. So it's a no obligation wait list. You can just sign up and then we'll let you know when that class opens again. All right, so we talked about what autosomal DNA is. We talked about what it can do. Let's talk just for a minute about what it can't do. So I told you a little bit already about what I feel like it can't do. It can't tell your full story. It can't. You only have half of your mom's DNA, which means at the very best, you could tell half of her story. But even that is not really true because you don't have all of her parents, right? Now, adding your siblings together, you can tell a better story of your heritage than you can alone. So that's why it's always valuable to test your siblings. But I really like this chart as well that helps us understand this whole better together philosophy that we're trying to talk about over the next 5 weeks.